Welcome back, baseball family. Like we said before, there has been some talk about playoff expansion. Now, this has been a hotly contested subject this entire week. People are saying it's awful, it's terrible, it's the worst thing ever. Other people have been saying this is fantastic. Somebody on the Facebook group said, it's so crazy, it just might work. Now,
yes.
now, before we get into this, I do think the timing of this was really funny, because I've heard it compared to, like, you've got the Red Sox investigation on this hand, and then while this is going on, Rob Manfred's like, but look at this shiny thing over here. Look what we have going on this side with playoff expansion. Trying to distract us from the fact that teams are cheating, right? And the way that I thought of it actually immediately when it came out, it's like the timing of this is so funny that I could see Rob Manfred in his office like, oh, I don't want to talk about the Red Sox anymore. I'm so sick of investigating teams. Let's talk about playoff expansion. Let's talk playoff expansion instead of the Red Sox. I want to so bad. And the reason I thought it was because that's how I am.
Clutching his
whoopee. Let's do this
whoopee.
fun thing instead.
Yeah, clutching his whoopee, right? Like, no.
Yeah, no. Like Prince John on the cartoon Robin Hood.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So let's talk about the layout of this first off. Okay, so first we have expanding from 5 teams in each league to 7 teams in each league. Okay, so that's 14 teams overall. There will be no more wild card game. The first round would now be a best of 3 series. Okay,
right.
So instead of the 1 game elimination or the best of 5 in between, they kind of settled middle ground there with the best of 3.
Yep.
The top seed in each league automatically gets a bye, and then teams with the best records would pick their opponents. Okay, now, Brig, what do you think?
Oh, man. My opinions are so layered, bro.
I get it.
Okay. Without discussing the actual logistics of this, I'm going to say a couple of things. This is the most forward-thinking Major League Baseball has been in a long time.
Yes.
And for that, kudos. You just got to give it to them. Somebody somewhere said, you know what? Let's talk about it in a different way. Let's just explore another idea, another option. And I think that progressive thought process is what we need, and it's awesome. I dig that about it. I don't necessarily love what they've proposed, but I do appreciate the effort, and I think that we should open the door for thoughts like this. I think on top of that, this is a direct response to tanking. For those of you that don't know, tanking is when a team decides to sell off all their players and be bad and just accept being a losing team for 3 to 5 years while they develop players from the ground up through the farm system, and then they can contend again in 3 to 5 years. I think this is a direct response to that. And that is a problem.
In baseball circles, they call that Astro Ball, because that's what the Astros do.
Whoa! Shots fired.
No, that's a real thing. They call it Astro Ball.
I know.
I'm not kidding you.
But I mean,
that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, it's what they did. The Cubs did it too, and the Marlins are doing it now. So that's just what's going on. But that is a legitimate problem in baseball. We have got to solve this tanking thing. If you get a fan who's just on the fringes, or who is new to the game maybe, or who has been burned in the past, and then you throw in the towel for 3 to 5 years, and you're just telling your fan base, look, we're going to be bad for 3 to 5 years. We hope you come back and watch us then. Dude, they're going to start watching.
We hope you come in the meantime.
Yeah, they're going to start watching curling, bro. Like, they're not even going to come back. So tanking is a massive problem that we have to solve. I think this is their attempt to curb that somewhat.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. For me, it was more meaningful games, right?
Totally.
With 14 teams making the playoffs, that's almost half the league. That's 1 team off of half the league, which it sounds like a whole lot when you put it that way, but more than half of the NBA makes the playoffs every year. And when's the best time to watch NBA basketball? It's
Playoffs.
February, March, April, and then into the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we talked before about how August gets to be kind of the doldrums of the Major League season. Well, in August, that's when things are really starting to heat up at this point, because you've got more teams who are playing meaningful games in middle of August into September. Like for me, the Mariners, are typically eliminated in May.
May. Yeah. I was just gonna say that.
But at this point, they won't be probably eliminated until August, and
or June.
This will. Yeah, June. Yeah, I'm going best case scenario here. Let's be real.
Okay, I see. I got it. Thank you.
And honestly, it looks like today with my hat and the shirt, my new Baseball Together shirt that I'm wearing, it looks like I'm morphing into a D-backs fan, which I don't know. It might be the case. They might be my National League team, but we'll see. But no, like the optimism as a Mariners fan is like they would have made the playoffs 2 to 3 years in the last 20 years.
That's right.
They wouldn't have been eliminated every time. There was a couple years ago in 2016 where they would have made the playoffs. I know that for a fact.
Yep.
So for fans of bad teams like me, this is excellent. It's great.
Right.
The Mariners might only get into that 3-game series and get eliminated in 2 games. I don't care. That's 2 more meaningful games the Mariners have played.
Right.
And that's 2 more meaningful games than I've gotten as a Mariners fan in the last 19 years.
That's right.
So it is a big deal for anybody, like I said, who's a fan of a bad team or even a fringe team, because there are teams who just kind of hover in the middle, like the Angels fans.
Yeah.
That team has not been good for a while, and they're going to be better this year. We've got things they need to sort out, but still, as an Angels fan, I'd be stoked on this. Like, we're going to make the playoffs just about every single year. The Angels will.
It's a good point.
So I think it's great for Major League Baseball to expand this, more meaningful games, more playoffs, because you can go back and listen to our playoffs episodes. How stoked we are on the playoffs, because
we are. We love the playoffs.
It's a blast. It is a blast. I love playoff baseball. It's so much fun.
Yeah, me too.
So that's great. What do you think about the first round bye for the top seed?
I think it's disruptive. I think that you got guys on a schedule. Trevor Bauer brought this up. You got guys on a schedule, and everything is momentum in baseball. Everything is about getting your reps and doing it the same way every day, and that's how you succeed. Is you grind out each repetition, each at bat, each start, etc. So you take the top team who deserves the most, whatever you want to call it, consideration maybe. And you pull them from their rotation, you pull them out of their battle rhythm a week before arguably the most important game of the season up to that point. And that's going to disrupt everything. And that might actually work against that team. So I kind of hate that. It sounds like a reward, but it feels like a punishment.
And I still look at it as a reward, because if you're sitting out a 3-game series, your break is not any longer than the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
So as the top seed, you're basically getting a second All-Star break when you kind of need it. Get some guys healthy who maybe have been nursing, I don't know, like a foot injury, ankle injury, callus on a finger, I don't know. And if guys are really that concerned with the layoff, go throw a bullpen.
Yeah.
Go take some BP. You might get a longer layoff than that if you sweep a team and you're waiting for the team in the next round.
Yeah.
3 games is not that much.
That's a good point.
Because I think that it's I think I saw that the top seed, that all 3 games are played in one city. So that could be 3 days.
The home team.
You could be playing in the division series in 4 days, 5 days. Yeah. So I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Like Trevor Bauer really blew that out of proportion. I think that might be the union talking, him as a union member talking like, no, we have to fight the power on this because that's what we have to do. I really don't think that layoff is that big of a deal. Like I said, go throw a bullpen, which I know is not the same as throwing a game.
True.
But throw a bullpen, take some BP, take some extra stretches, or just take the time off and rest. Get ready for those games, because it's it's really not that big of a deal. I think it's just fine. I think it's fine. So
I've changed my opinion. Thanks, Brad.
Yes.
Here's why. Here's why. Yeah, here's one. We're gonna move through this. Here's why though, because in the back of my mind, as I was talking, I have this other opinion that you have brought up to the front of my mind now, which is, look, if you're gonna be a pro, be a pro. If you're gonna be a pro one day, you can be a pro 5 days from now, right? So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so first, before we get into more, walk us through what exactly this looks like, okay? Let's talk about that for the people who maybe didn't hear what exactly is being proposed.
Okay. So you've got 7 teams on each side. Let's just go National League, 7 teams. Okay. So you've got the top seed sits in a bye, right?
Yes.
Waiting for their next opponent. Then you have 6 teams below that. I think I'm going to make a visual for this. So anybody who's watching on YouTube, you can see this. Anybody who's just listening, go ahead and check it out on YouTube so you can actually, if it's kind of foggy for you, you can get a better understanding of how this is going to work.
It's a little brain bending. So yeah, graphic would be good. Good idea.
So then you got 6 teams below that in the, I guess, technically the wild card round playing. So let's go ahead and look at the American League, actually. How about this? So you've got the top team. You had the Astros in 2019 were the top team. So they would have a bye. And then you would have the Yankees, the Twins, the Rays, and the A's. Yankees, Twins, Rays, A's. And then the 5th team would be Cleveland. So Cleveland would have made the playoffs this last year.
And the Red Sox would have made it as well.
Oh, yeah, the Red Sox. Yeah, sorry. I can't count. We've established I'm not good at math.
Right.
So those 7 teams. So you would have the Astros sitting out around, and then you would have the Yankees, Rays, Twins, Red Sox, and Indians playing in each in a 3-game series. Okay.
Yep.
And then the winners of those would go up, advance to the next round. Then you'd have.
Hold on. Here's what happened before that. My understanding is the Astros get a bye because they're the best team in that 7-team set. The Yankees then get to pick their opponent because they have the second best record. They don't get a bye, but they get to pick who they play in the first 3-round game or series.
No, so is that what it is? Because my understanding was, all the teams with the best records get to pick their opponent,
except the Astros because they get a bye.
Right, and I don't like to pick your opponent thing because there's an element of disrespect. There's an element of expectation there. Just go by seeding, best versus worst, and then go in the middle, whatever. Like,
okay, but what they're trying to do is bring more drama, right? They're trying to.
I know,
and that's this reality TV thing, right? The reality TV thing is what people are saying, which is what it is, because they're going to televise the press conference where the managers or whoever's going to get up and go, "I'm on them."
Yeah, and I don't think that needs to happen. I don't think they need to do that. That's
why.
That's
why.
Stupid.
Why, Brad?
Well, so like I said, there's a level of disrespect, level of expectation. Like, how would you like to be the manager? Like, how would you like to be Brian Cashman saying, "We want the Rays. We want the Rays," and then the Rays come out and sweep you?
Yeah, totally.
Then what? You know?
Yeah, then you're real careful next time.
how many GMs are going to get fired because they chose the wrong team?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's not. I don't feel like that's something that you should have on. Like, just line up the records and have it that way. Like, you don't need that level of drama with reality TV. The playoffs provide enough drama as it is.
Now, I agree with that.
You don't need to manufacture drama because the games do it for you. Okay,
that's a good perspective.
That's really what it comes down to for me. Don't manufacture it. Let it play out.
Interesting.
So
the Yankees get to pick their first opponent, right? And they say, well, I like our matchups against Cleveland. We've had success against Cleveland. We know we're going to play in the Bronx, etc. Let's take Cleveland and see where the chips fall, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to make this strategic decision with whatever motivation they have, and then what happens is the Twins, with the 3rd best record in the American League, they're going to get a chance to pick their next opponent from the remaining pool. which includes the Rays, the Athletics, and the Red Sox. Right? And then the fourth best record gets to pick from the remaining, and then the final two teams, boom, they get to automatically play each other.
Yeah.
So, and that's the proposal. So then there's this press conference where they do the reality TV drama, and that's what is being proposed.
Yeah, exactly. Then it would just play out as is after that. And I think honestly, if you're going to have, I think they should replace the pick your opponent thing with reseeding as the playoffs progress.
Okay.
Right? Like, so you've got the first round, and say that the 7 seed ends up beating the 2 seed, or no, so the 2 seed ends up beating the 7 seed,
right?
But then you've got, say, you got 3, 6, the 5 seed ends up beating the 4 seed, and then the 6 seed ends up winning whatever. Mm-hmm. Instead of playing the 2 seed or whatever it was that the 1 seed ended up playing, they end up playing the 5 seed or the 6 seed, whatever it is, the lowest seed remaining. Like, reseed as the playoffs go, I think is what you should do. I think that makes way more sense than choosing your opponent. Like, obviously it's confusing right now because I'm not looking at anything and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. But I feel like if you see the chart, if you see the bracket, it makes perfect sense as you watch it, right?
It could,
as you watch it play out. Yeah, that's actually what the NFL does, and I think it makes perfect sense.
No, the NFL has 6 teams, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the bottom 4 or something play in a wild card. I don't understand the NFL system, honestly.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what it is. The 4 bottom teams play in a wild card round, and then whoever has the worst record goes on and plays the top record. Whoever has the next top record, the 2nd seed or whatever, gets the next one incoming.
So that would got it.
So I think reseeding would make more sense.
Doing it like the NFL does it.
Yeah.
Would that give us more games or fewer games with 6 teams? Instead of 7.
Oh no! I'm saying keep the 7 teams.
Oh, keep the 7 teams.
Reseed for the division round.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like don't make it a linear bracket. It's got to be a little bit fluid with teams coming in to the next round.
Huh.
And yeah, because basically MLB is going to have as many rounds as the NFL does now.
Okay, so why? I mean, okay, we've already answered the question. Why do we need a bye week? Right? I don't know. I don't think we need a bye week personally, but I see your point, right? I'm talking about for the fans. For the players, yes, a bye week makes a ton of sense. But for the fans, we're like, well, but what about me, right? I want to watch my team play.
Well, and I feel like the fans of the number 1 team, they're gonna watch. They're gonna watch that first round, that wild card round,
totally,
because they want to see who they're gonna be playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I feel like it still makes sense for fans of that team, because if I'm an Astros fan, which I don't know why anybody would be now, but that's just me. I'm going to be watching who the Yankees are playing. I'm going to be watching who the Twins are playing. I'm going to be watching all those games. Like, do we match up well against these teams? Who could we potentially be playing? Like, I'm going to have legitimate interest in that, because that's how it is. I feel like with the NFL. My Seahawks have had the number 1 seed a couple times, and I watched the wild card because I wanted to know who they were playing. I wanted to know how they were playing at the time, and how we matched up against how the Seahawks matched up against them.
Yes, no, the collective we.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
The royal we.
The noble we. Yes, I understand.
Yes.
I do that too. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it again, because I'm beating on this trash can all season. We need 32 teams, and we need to go back to old school playoff brackets with old school pennant races. That's what I think.
Oh, as far as do you mean like getting rid of the wild card round?
Yep.
Or even the division round?
Get rid of the wild card round, go back to old school pennant races.
So, I mean, keep in mind, before they did the divisional realignment with 3 divisions, when it was just East and West in the AL and NL, you went straight to the LCS.
Yeah. When I like the division round. I don't think you should go to the to championship series. I just think that there should be more drama around the winning your division, and right now there's not as much as there used to be, and I like that. And I know there's a lot of love for the wild card.
Yeah, everybody loves wild card. Well, most people.
Not everybody loves it, Brad.
I know. I shouldn't use sweeping generalizations like that. but I would say most people like the wild card.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because it makes for great, like I said, it makes for great drama. Those games are fun, especially the one game elimination.
Yeah. No,
a lot of people like like one game eliminations.
Yes.
And a 3-game series is about as close as you get to that, without having just one game, because it gives teams a chance to recover from, if you got a pitcher who gets hurt or you get a bad bounce out in right field as the ball's tailing away from you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just making up examples here.
Yeah, those sound real made up, Brad. If you can find videos to illustrate those, you got to put them up, because they sound real made up, Brad. Just off the top of your head. That's fantastic.
But no, I mean, ultimately though, I think it's great because more meaningful baseball is important.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what we want. Because like I said, you get into August and sometimes you can just like, okay, I need to take a break till September. But you're not going to want to, because the pennant races are starting to heat up now.
Yeah.
And I understand the need for division, but you've got incentive with winning your division by getting home field, which I understand. We saw in the World Series doesn't really matter.
Suddenly, out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly home field doesn't matter. But at the same time, like, there's something to be said for sleeping in your own bed.
Totally.
Right?
Yep.
You would think.
No, it's true.
And everybody wants the division crown. And if you win the division crown, like, you could potentially have it locked up sooner.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know. I am so for this though, because of more meaningful games, that I don't care who makes it. I just like watching games that matter.
So,
and out of 162, it gets tough to find some.
That's true. So here, okay,
at some point.
Here, yeah, you reach a point where that's true. Here's my thing. I am a moderate approval. I have a moderate approval rating on this plan.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I need to see, though. I'm skeptical, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to see if it works one time. You screwed up one time, I'm out. But here's what I want to see. I want to see games televised nationally. No blackout restrictions.
Yes.
I don't want to see any of this BS about I can't watch my team. So whatever they got to do to work out the broadcast rights, I need it fixed so I can watch every single one of these games. I want to see,
right. Yep.
If you're going to schedule those 3-game series on the same day, I want to see a day game and a night game, or something like that, and it better be on a channel I can get no matter what. Okay, that's number one. Number two is you've got to. Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
But no, I while you try to find that, I am totally for. Make sure those games are accessible. None of this TBS business.
Right.
Like, with cord cutting, how much of the country actually has TBS now?
Very few.
It's not an It's not a channel that's as easily accessible as it used to be.
Yes.
Put these games on Fox. Put them on ESPN.
Yep.
They need to be places where it's accessible.